Well, uh, now I'm going to let you know right about the verb. In fact, not only I myself, the people I have come across, they still feel much confusion about the verb itself. Let me define the verb first, then I will go by and by towards its kinds. Verb is the definition states based on two things: state and action. Means those words which define the state and the action is termed as verb. So, there are two parts, one action, second state. So, in the beginning I will let you know right about the action. So, on the basis of action means words which have some kind of work to do. I go home, they read newspaper, they discuss about current issues. So, read, go, discuss, these are the main words, action words. So, on the basis of these action words, I can show you the chart right now, which defines that there are regular verbs, irregular verbs, linking verbs, transitive verb, intransitive verbs, finite and infinite verbs. In fact, I will first touch the regular verb, a kind of verb which is changed by adding the d or ed, and the irregular verb does not change by adding d and ed, they change by themselves. In the regular word, what we see, call, called, boil, boiled, we have added d or ed over there. But in another kind, in irregular, we use the word like shut. Then when I am going to change the second form shut, it will be remain same or it might be changed. Suppose swim, swam, swam. So, there is no addition of d or ad, but it is changed internally. Words which are changed internally, we term them irregular verb, and words which we change by adding d or ed, we term them regular verb. And we give them two other names as well. It is most important to note. We term regular as weak verb and irregular is strong verb. What is the reason that we term them as weak and strong verb? Now, see that there are almost, if I going to give you 50 words from regular by adding d and ed, first, second and third form, and 50 words from the irregular whom we call strong. So, just one word swim, swam, swam, ring, rang, rung, read, read, read. So, these 50 words are difficult to memorize, but if I ask you to memorize the 50 words of regular category, it would be easy for you. When your mind is going to catch them, memorize them easily, means he is going to break the shell of the verb category, and you can get many verbs from them. So, that is why we term them weak verbs, and it is difficult for the person to memorize as many words as you can do in regular and irregular form. That is why we term them strong, and these strong verbs are just 2%, and 98% are your regular verbs. So, these 2%, we have not memorized them a lot yet, because we do not know much, because it takes time to memorize them. So, hope your answer is somehow clear about regular and irregular verb. We call regular as a weak verb, irregular as a strong verb. Okay. Moving toward the transitive and intransitive verb. Well, no doubt it is very much important to know, to come up with the difference between them, because they will help us in making the sentences, especially in passive voice. I give you two examples. I write a letter, one. Second, I walk on the road. In the former sentence, I said I write a letter. When you are going to change this sentence in the passive voice, letter is written by me, means this has been changed. Okay. When it is changed, we may term them as a transitive verb. Okay. Second, I walk on the road. Now, can you change this sentence into the passive voice? No, you must try. No, okay. Now, see, when you cannot change the words from one sentence to another, mean in passive voice, from active voice to passive voice, it means these are intransitive verbs. I am going to give you another example. I cried in the corner for my beloved. So, can you change this into the passive voice? Not at all. I run on the road. I sleep on the bed. So, these words cannot be changed into the passive voice, and those words which cannot be changed into the passive voice, so we term them intransitive verb. I remember a poem is remembered by me. Okay. So, this will be in transitive verbs. Hope your concept about the transitive verb and intransitive verb is somehow clear. Now, finite and infinite verbs. Those words which change according to the mood of the verb, we term them finite verbs. Suppose I am a student, he is a student, they are students. Now, word student is same, but here somehow is, am, are, is we have added according to the situation of sentence. This changing of one sentence according to situation, we term them finite verbs. In infinite verbs, we use to before the verb. The seeing is believe. So, we have to use to with the verbs. Once you use to with the verb, it means that is infinitive verb. So, this was the basically category which tells us about the action verb. Now, there is another thing in the category of verb. As I said in the beginning, there are two things, one is action, second is state. On the basis of state, we may say there is another category, we term them auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs means is, am, are, he, will, shall, can, could, should, would. These all are the auxiliary verbs, but again there is a change. In auxiliary verbs, there are some verbs which are static verbs and there are words which are dynamic verb. How? Now, let's see. I am a teacher. Here am does not do any work, but it reflects only am. I am a teacher, it is a state. I am teaching. So, here same verb now has become dynamic verb. I have a pen, mean possession is showing, but have is here static verb. I have written an article. So, same have when it is used for the action, we term them dynamic verb. So, an auxiliary, the same verb can be the static verb and same verb can be the dynamic verb. So, there is a big category for all these words of action and of states. So, I am pretty sure that the basic concepts about the basics about the verb would have been clear to you. I am going to upload the test, go through the test, and key is also given over there. Evaluate yourself, and if you have any question, you may ask. Thank you. Today I am going to give you another dimension of the language, and that is day-to-day uses in our speaking conversation. And I assure you, if you are going to have kind of mastery on that, they will bring the beauty in your conversation and very kind of frankness to the people as well. Yet we have been very much serious with the language. Let us create the fun in the language by giving you the sentences which are in our daily uses. I am going to ask you some things in Urdu and you to translate them in English. Let me see, can you? पढ़ें तो क्या पढ़ें, पढ़ें तो किसके साथ पढ़ें, जाएं तो कहाँ जाएं, पढ़ें तो कहाँ पढ़ें, खेलें तो क्या खेलें, पकाएं तो क्या पकाएं, खाएं तो क्या खाएं. Just one by one. Can you? Just try little bit. No? Okay. Whatever efforts you have tried, all right, but let me make you clear. Now see. पढ़ें तो क्या पढ़ें, to study, what to study. पढ़ें तो किसके साथ पढ़ें, to study, with whom to study. पढ़ें तो कहाँ पढ़ें, to study, where to study. खेलें तो क्या खेलें, to play, what to play. To play, with whom to play. To play, where to play. So these questions can help you. Now see, which, what, when, where, how, just put in the middle, like what and where, like that. Put just in the middle and repeat the same word before and after that. देखें तो क्या देखें, to watch, what to watch. मांगें तो क्या मांगें, to ask, what to ask. मांगें तो किससे मांगें, to ask, from whom to ask. See, the question is between, and these one word is going to be repeated after the same question. So in this way you are going to develop your own structure in language. And just try and make just 4 to 5 sentences by yourself verbally. Let me move towards another sentence, that is, may I have honor to. The meaning of this sentence is कि क्या मुझे शरफ मिल सकता है, क्या मुझे इज्जत मिल सकती है. This is a polite request. When we use may I come in sir, okay, all right. But in the same meantime, if I use may I have honor to come in sir, क्या मुझे अंदर आने का शरफ मिल सकता है या इज्जत मिल सकती है. May I have honor to, structure is same, may I have honor to. Okay, may I have honor to serve you a cup of tea. क्या मुझे शरफ मिल सकता है कि मैं आपको एक कप चाय का पिलाऊं. वो बंदा चाय पिएगा, ज़रूर पिएगा, बिकॉज of your attitude of the language. Polite request should be in a way, it should be polite, rather than if I ask you may I give you a cup of tea, and on the same time if I ask you may I have honor to serve you a cup of tea, there is a difference. The latter one is far more strong and having its own attitude towards the person you are requesting. Okay. So you may develop as many sentences on the same structure, may I have honor to, as you want. May I have honor to come to you, may I have honor to buy a book for you, may I have honor to learn from you, may I have honor to teach you, may I have honor to sit with you, may I have honor to have a cup of tea with you, may I have honor to take lunch with you. Now see, these are common sentences, but the attitude matters. It is a perfect polite request. Okay. Then I am going to move towards another. I feel like mostly while sitting alone and we think that like मेरा दिल चाहता है कि मेरा दिल चाहता है कि मैं चाय पीऊँ, मेरा दिल चाहता है कि मैं लाइब्रेरी में जाके सो जाऊँ, मेरा दिल चाहता है कि मैं आपको पढ़ाऊँ, मेरा दिल चाहता है कि मैं आज क्लास न लूँ. So like that. What you to do? I feel like is the structure that is constant. Just use we mean verb ing form with that. I feel like eating, I feel like sleeping, I feel like watching movie. मेरा दिल चाह रहा है कि मैं मूवी देखूं. I feel like talking to you. मेरा दिल चाह रहा है कि मैं आपसे बात करूं. I feel like talking to you. I feel like learning from you. So you may add as many verbs as you want, but this one is very much constant. I feel like, then verb ending form. It depends upon you. So just try to make 5 sentences according to this structure, very much common sentences, so that you may understand and enjoy the language. Okay. Then we are moving towards another structure. These both are same, but somehow the difference is there. Would you like to? Would you mind? And this is the structure which mostly comes in the exam as well. Would you like to come here? क्या आप यहाँ पर आना पसंद करेंगे? Would you like to learn English language? Would you like to read a newspaper? क्या आपको न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना पसंद है? पढ़ना पसंद करेंगे? क्या आप चाय पीना पसंद करेंगे? Now on the other hand, would you mind? Would you mind learning English? Would you mind coming here? क्या आपको यहाँ पर आना बुरा तो नहीं लगा? Would you mind talking me? क्या आपको मेरे साथ बात करना बुरा तो नहीं लगेगा? So see how much polite these both sentences are. So you may choose any of them. So you have to develop your sentence on one hand with the would you like to, and make the same with the would you mind. Now see, would you like to play cricket with me? Would you mind playing cricket with me? Would you like to learn English? Would you like learning English? Would you like to get up early? Would you like getting up early? See, both sentences are there. Somehow the change is in the meaning. Okay, and I believe that these some structures will add somehow the beauty in your language. And soon I am going to give some other structures, and I am sure that you will learn many things. Practice them, enjoy them. Thank you.